All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I figured I would take the time to kind of explain Subarus and tuning and when you need a tune, what you can do without a tune, because Subarus seem to be a little more finicky when it comes to that. And I know that was still one of my biggest questions on what I can and can't do. A lot of people get these cars, not these cars, get Subarus, and they kind of treat it like a Civic, like they can just throw anything they want on it. But you gotta treat a Civic right. That's why Civics kind of get a bad rap, because if you know how to take care of them, they'll last and they'll be fine. But anyway, I typed out a list here. This is, just to get it out of the way, this is stuff that you can do to your Subaru without a tune. So a bypass valve, not a blow-off valve. The car already has a bypass valve, so if you just switch it out for like a Grim Speed one or something, you don't need a tune. It'll be just fine because you're really not changing anything. A catback after the downpipe, it don't change your airflow to or from the turbo, so it doesn't affect anything. Top mount intercooler, again, it doesn't change your airflow. Now front mount, you got all the different piping, air has to run through it differently, so you would need a tune. But a different top mount, you don't need a tune. You won't really utilize a top mount. If you throw an aftermarket top mount on it and don't tune it, you're not gonna be utilizing that intercooler. So maybe it's something that you're preparing to get a tune for, you can throw it on, you know what I mean. Air oil separator. Now, AOS does, or IAG does make an air oil separator called the Competition Series. That one you supposedly do need a tune for. It's kind of weird, because I guess you need a tune because it's like no longer a closed loop system, and it changes like the flow, so your idle can be different maybe. I'm not 100% on that, but if you just get the regular street air oil separator, you don't need a tune. And I highly recommend doing that because it's a great reliability mod. I have a how-to video on that, last one I posted, go check that out. A radiator, you can throw a different radiator on there, doesn't require a tune. Cylinder 4 cooling mod and oil pan. Obviously those don't require a tune. So basically, anything that changes the airflow of your engine, you'll need a tune. So a different downpipe means more airflow through the turbo. Therefore, your car will not compensate for that airflow, and your car will run lean and blow up over time. Same thing with a cold air intake. More air coming in, more air getting shoved through the turbo means the car is going to run different. So your mass airflow sensor is calibrated to your stock air box, obviously from factory. And that mass airflow sensor measures one point in the airflow tube, through the intake tube. So say you make that tube bigger, you're still measuring that one point. So you've got more air going around the sides, but the same air is flowing through in the middle. So that's why Subarus the mass airflow sensor don't really correct enough for you to where you don't need a tune, because it's measuring that one point. So basically it throws the calibration off and causes your turbo to overboost. You've probably heard the term overboost. That's, you're running more boost. It's not good for your stock setup. One thing I read of why Subarus, and really most turbo cars, need a tune more than other cars is because most cars read their airflow up towards the throttle body. So they've got all the components kind of funneled towards the throttle body. Well, ours is in the air intake, so you've got your turbo and exhaust and all that elsewhere. Well, the cars that read that 1 point on their throttle body, it's all consistent, I guess you could say, which is called speed density. So basically, since the sensors are deeper into the airflow system, you don't need a tune for every little thing that you change. Like on a Subaru, you need a tune for every little thing, which is annoying, but just the way it is. But basically, that's the very quick version of why you need to tune your Subaru with just a downpipe or a cold air intake. A blow-off valve you'll need a tune for because it's releasing pressure out into the atmosphere. What else? Front mount, we talked about that because you've got more air. You're rerouting your airflow basically. Different turbo, obviously you're sucking more air in, so you're gonna need a tune. You need a tune for TGV deletes because because you're gonna have a check engine light on. Same with a air pump delete. You'll need to tune for that. You need a tune for injectors to control your fuel. You throw bigger injectors on there, you're gonna be sucking more fuel in or less. You need to tune those to tell it what to do. Fuel pump, pretty sure you do not need a tune for a fuel pump. Intake manifold, more airflow, need a tune. But that's basically the gist of tuning with kind of like full bolt-ons, you know. Most stuff you will need a tune for, which kind of sucks. And I mean, you can go ideally a dyno tune, which I'm sure you've all heard before, because they can, I mean, really narrow it down, make sure it's running good. Second best would be an e-tune where you data log and then send it in and have somebody write a tune for you, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm getting ready to, I'm working on going stage 3, and then I'll get an e-tune with that through Torque Performance. But yeah, I hope I can help you guys understand a little bit more about tuning and Subarus, because I know it can be very confusing, and if you're like me, you're scared to death to do anything because you're afraid you're going to blow your car up. But then on the other hand, you've got people that aren't scared of anything, and they're like, oh, Subarus suck, why did I blow my car up? Well, you didn't pay any attention to it. You can't really treat a Subaru like any other car. And honestly, most turbo cars need to be treated like this, ideally. But I hope I cleared some things up for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll do my best to help you figure anything out you need. But I appreciate you guys clicking on the video to watch it, and thanks for watching.